Hey y'all, Matt here, Bobcat Bonsai. I'm sure from that that little thumbnail there, you're probably wondering what are you doing with hoof trimmers and a bonsai tree? Well, that's easy enough to say right here. Let me pop this little guy up here real quick so we can take a look at it and discuss it all here. Ugh. Once I'm done sitting all over this. I can't stand the straightness. I want to bend it, and it's so hard that it's not letting me bend it. Somebody went through and actually trimmed off the branches on it to make it look like this, and I just don't like it. Honestly, that's all it is. I really don't like it. It's a Shimpaku Juniper, and we've got this nice little branch that's coming off this side, and that's great. That's awesome. I'm super happy that's happening. I need more branches like that to pop out, but they're not coming. And I think I'm going to end up just hitting right through here with the hoof trimmer, and then adding some bend into it and seeing how it comes back from it. If it comes back great, that's awesome. If it doesn't and I royally screwed up, that's awful, but I tried. So let me get you set up and we'll get right to it. Alright, so we've got our nice little trunk here. I'm going to end up moving it and putting it into this bigger pot as a slip pot. I'm not planning on doing anything with the roots, obviously, because we're doing all this cutting. I'm just going to slip pot it into there. That way I can give the roots a little bit more room to grow. I think it will be more beneficial to the tree itself to try and grow as much as possible. I got some medical wrap right here. What I'll do is after I pinch through the trunk, I will then wrap it with the medical wrap, and then after that I will wrap wire around it. So for the time being, I want to get it moved into the new pot so that way I can kind of figure out what angle I want to work with for that individual pot. So all I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to pull it out of here, I'm going to slip pot it into here, and I might clean off the top just a little bit to look at where the roots are at and what I have to work with there. I'm not going to waste your time through this whole process, so I'll get that all slid around real quick and then we'll come back to it. Alright, so apparently my memory is absolutely horrible and I must have slip potted this recently because as you can see right here, there's a little plug. And clearly, I know I haven't done it in the past few months because I haven't done too much work with any of the trees, so that seems kind of odd to me. And I'm wondering if we might be a little bit overly bound up here, which kind of makes me question, should I go in and clean up the roots and see if cleaning up the roots will get me some better back budding? No, because just moving them with a toothbrush, they are all happy to move around here. I just figured I would bring you all in on a little bit of this action here. There's the problem. It was growing in one of those mesh bags. Alright, well, I'm just gonna get this cleaned up just a little bit more, lay in some bonsai soil across the top so it's a little bit more free draining through the top, and then I'll be back with you and we'll begin the nice cuts. Alright, be back in a second. Alright, so story of my life, I changed my mind and ended up just putting some just dry soil on top. I'll end up getting that all wetted down. It's got a mix of like small lava rock, giant chunks like this in here. It's got everything. So it'll give this tree a nice little bit of everything to work with. So from here, all we're really going to do is come in and like we've got some nice looking branching through here, which is great. I just want to take it, and I think I'm going to end up just snipping up through here, taking the entire thing and just giving it a bend. I think I'm going to take it this way and then let it naturally come back up, and then I'll wire the top and get it to go the other way. So for the time being, whether this will work or not, I have no idea. But we're going to give it a try and see exactly what we can get out of it. Worst case scenario is here we fail and it was an awful idea. And then we buy another tree and we try it again. Right? So, as we can see, I already didn't even get my cuts lined up, so that's great in itself. I'm sure that's going to leave some ugly scarring everywhere. So now we have just this nice softened up bits all through here. Okay, so we're nice and softened up that way. I'm going to come in this way. Just get one more in here. Alright, so now it's really soft. So now that that's as soft as what it is, I need to take my nice medical wrap here and I've got my scissors. So now I'm just going to come back, I'm going to wrap this whole thing. And why I'm wrapping it is to protect it from the wire and from the outside elements. And hopefully it all heals up quickly here. But the fun thing is either way, whether this goes good or bad, I've learned something, right? And I think the key to bonsai is that we're always learning. Sometimes we learned that what we did was an absolutely terrible idea. And sometimes we learn that, hey, that was actually that was a really good try. And we accomplished something great. So obviously what I'm going for here is I'm hoping that it was a wonderful try and we accomplished something great. But we will not know for certain until we get this wired up and we begin our bends, right? I'd actually even thought about selling this one at one point because that's kind of where I was at with it, with not liking it. And then when I put it up for sale, I couldn't even sell it. Like, nobody wanted to buy this. And I can't blame them, because I also was wondering who would want to buy something like this when I tried to sell it. I didn't give it its initial styling, but I'm not a fan of it. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it at that. As you guys can all tell, I'm not a fan of this little tree at all. And it's nothing personal against the tree. I just don't like the way that it looks. Nothing personal. I just don't like the way you look. Right? That sounds like everything personal that could be said. Alright. I'm just going to come in here and loose wrap now. Once I get to where I need to be. So we're going to do what's a loose wrap so that we can bend it but we're not worried about damaging too much foliage, because this thing has some nice foliage growing through the front of it. I don't know. Can anybody tell me their thoughts? Like, is this a specific design that you would like before I started destroying the tree? Let me know. I'm interested. I truly am interested to know if this is a specific design that certain people like, because I'm just trying to understand exactly what's going on with it. So I think now that we got that initial piece in there, we're going to give it a nice little twist, just to give it some kind of movement in here, right? We're going to keep the twist going. Now I got it that way, I actually want to begin to pull it back in this direction over here. But this is more or less my thought for now. I just want to get movement into it so I can begin working with it. So I'm hoping that I get some nice movement. This one's going to end up coming out over here, and then at some point I'm going to have to come back through and trim up everything that's all in through here. As you can see, the loose wire wrap through there just kind of has everything. Even got some nice juvenile foliage popping up through here. But besides a little bit of water, that's it right there. I actually really like that little extra bend right there. Just enough to bring it up more than anything. All right. I'm just going to try to give it a little bit of a bend up the front here. So that's about it. Honestly, I might end up cutting it all the way back to there and just saying I'm done and just redo it all. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What you think about this tree. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate if you subscribed to my channel. Yeah, I bent down. That way I didn't have to move the camera off the tripod. But I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. And if you really, really enjoy my content, you should hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.